Good morning, everyone. 11:49 in the a.m. Samantha, though we're going to be on the turf, and of course, Mother Nature had different plans. We had just a heavy rain come down for like about 20 minutes. It stopped now, so things will probably clear out. But with that said, we're off the turf.
Yeah, we are. Unfortunately, just wasn't meant to be. Luckily, we were spared with the storm and everybody that's on the west side of Florida. You know, we're thinking about everybody there, and things can be replaced, but people cannot. And it seems like a lot of people got out in time, so that's very good news.
Sorry, Smith. Yeah, I know you have some family up there.
Yeah.
It's always dangerous, and all the people up there, I know it's tough. You'll be fine in just a little while. Very strong people in Florida.
Yeah.
We're used to these hurricanes,
Yes.
and we bounce back, and whatever. We always got it taken care of.
Yeah.
But with that said, you can make some money today because we got the Rainbow Six once again, and I think we have, I don't know what the guarantee is this afternoon. They'll pop it up here. We'll be able to say, not the guarantee, it's a guesstimate.
It's
No.
It starts fresh. That's right. Somebody
They
hit it on
again.
Sunday.
I forgot
That's right.
they hit it again.
Yeah.
That's right.
There was
Oh.
about 3 horses alive in the last race last Sunday, and one of them hit it. That's
That's
right.
right. That's right. And you know what the thing is, I forgot that, of course. And I'm going today. I wonder how much it could be. We'll start anew. So what happens? Usually hit it on this first day,
They
so
usually
it's
do.
even better. So the first race today, let me get out of the mess I just got myself in. Originally scheduled for the turf, 5 furlongs on the Tapeta. And these are maiden 2-year-olds, and we did have one scratch in here of Maximus Cat, and we have 2 tickets to talk about in here. We're going to show you my early pick 5, then Samantha's Tropical Tapeta pick 3. So let's take a look at mine first, and you'll see here how we got it up. I'm singling the 2. That's my best bet of the afternoon,
All right.
whether it was turf or Tapeta. Race number 2, I went 3 deep in there with my I took all the horses in race 2, actually. So it was 4, 5, 6. That's all. Race number 3, my top pick is the 1, Blinging Blur. In race number 4, the 7, I'm going with Luna Warrior. Use some other horses. You can see in race number 5, I got the 4 on top. That's Mr. Narcissistic. That's a pretty competitive race. And those races 4 and 5 start the Rainbow Six a little later on.
Yes, they do. A good ticket here, and I like that you're singling right off the bat. I spread a little bit in my Tropical Tapeta. Pick 3 had to do a little bit of rework just due to the 6th race, a very key scratch. I don't have your best bet here. Maybe this is a bad thing for me, but in race number 6 a little bit later, I do am just singling the 1. This is the horse with proven Tapeta form, and in race number 9, that's the finale today. Too deep for me. I actually scratch into the 7 on top, and that is Indy Lion, a $12 play for me, Ron.
Yeah, that 9th race is wide open.
Yes.
I'll tell you why I like the tune here, Ripped in this Master. You knew I was going to get interested when I saw it was a key race. 3 horses in this race come out to win their next start. And you see Most Handsome, repeat winner. What did that horse do in its next start? Won the Hollywood Beat.
Yeah.
So it's a key race. And then I found the stat with Rohan Crichton. This goes for either Tapeta or turf. That's why I left it on. And we'll show you what it is in here. And it'll pop up in just a second. And I just thought that this was, you'll see it here, second start, maiden special weight sprints in the past 5 years. 33%, 67% of the money. So I just thought with this horse, looking for a little bit of price. With that said, the horse that you have on your ticket, the 4, is probably the one to beat. But I was going with the Ripton's Music. I just like the race that this one comes out of. And look at the connections. And you're also getting, the Elijah Greenidge to ride 7-pound apprentice.
Yeah, that helps a lot, especially now when you draw the rail. But this horse has speed, so I think it should play well for them. My long shot is in this race here, Ron.
I like that.
Yeah, this seems like one of those races. Now, Words of Fortune, I like the way this horse breathes at the OBS sale. This mare has 8 foals, 4 of them won, none of them first time out, but look at all these works on the Tapeta leading up to this race. This is a good sign.
Yeah, it's a good sign. I like that long shot there. So best bet against long shot. Probably the one to beat in there is Mr. Tyson, who's currently the 5-2 favorite. And just all you have to do is look down and look at its last race.
Yep.
Was second beat in a half length against this same level of competition on the same surface. So certainly the one to beat.
Yes.
And probably going to be lower than that. So the second race, first race, you can go different ways in here. Like I said, I got the 2. Samantha's got 25-1. I'm going back and taking a second look at that. Race number 2 is where we like to call it, or I like to call it, and don't ask me why, that scratch bird hit us. It has 6 furlongs, claimers, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, scratched the 1, the 2, the 3, and the number 7. Now, they weren't scratched for the all wet weather. They were scratched early this morning. There's also a jockey change on the number 5, Deborah Warrior, make the rider Lionel Reyes, and that weight will now be 122 pounds. And number 6, Dove in Charge, looks like the one to beat in here.
Yeah, this is an interesting race now for sure. Did you have the 6 on top originally?
Yeah, I had the 6
You did?
on top.
Okay, that's good. I had her second, but yeah, she looks down the road here. She's got a win over the dirt track before. She's only been across a wet track once, so maybe if you want to pick holes at her, that's a spot that maybe you can do it in. But she's just been on the Tapeta and the grass as of late. Haven't been on the main track in a long time, but look at that work on September 14th at 35-1. She handles the main track just fine.
Let me show you a stat, too, with David Fawkes. I wanted to show you this just to add some fire to this. This is second off the claim in the past 5 years. Very solid numbers, 19%, 73% in the money, $2.35 is the return of investment. And who's been going better than David Fawkes at this meeting?
Yeah, he's just had a lights-out type of meet lately, and it's good to ride a barn like this out whenever they are just clipping so good.
You know, Kiki Love, you got to look at because of the big drop in competition. Down to the 6,250 level, and the number 5 horse. Just the fact for me that Lionel Reyes is jumping aboard. I think that maybe this horse has a shot, but the race goes through the 6 in there. Race number 3 is 1 mile and 70 yards on the Tapeta. These are maiden claiming filly 2-year-olds, and we do have a scratch of the number 2 gift box surprise, and both of us went to the inside horse, and that is Blinging Burr from Carlos David barn. And you look at its last race, showed that speed, backed up a little bit, but I think this is the day.
Yeah, this has to be. It's what it seems like, Ron. It was a good effort last time out. That was her first time 2 turns on the Tapeta. Now she's got that out of the way. She improved a lot. Now this is in a field that runs very deep, so I feel like, she's one that can just control things on the front end. I don't see anybody with a quick turn of foot to catch her down the lane.
I don't know how many times this has happened at the meet. The other Carlos David or the other Sappy Joseph wins, and that is the number 4, Tappett's Shady Lady. And we'll see how this one runs this afternoon. Hasn't really shown that much so far.
No, not yet, but I think that the stretch out should really help here to the 2 turns. That's a good sign here. And like you said, this is if you're playing the early pick 5, this is use the other Carlos David horse because you don't want to get beat by the higher price.
And the other horse that you might want to look at is the number 7 in here, and that's Timber. And this one from Joe Orsino. And I think this horse, second off the bench, will run okay this afternoon. Drayden Van Dyke is going to jump aboard, so we'll see how that plays out. But, boy, it looks like the race goes through the 1.
Yep.
And, of course, the other Carlos David we both used on our tickets. So that is race number 3. We are going to take a very short break. When we come back, we'll have my Rainbow 6 ticket.
And they're off.
New DRF All Access past performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all 3 past performance formats. Easily switch between views. Access the most trusted information in horse racing with DRF All Access past performances. Go to DRF.com and use coupon code 1FREEPP for a free single card today.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today, Ron and Samantha. And if you've been watching the Maryland feed, you see our buddy Brian Nato. He does it all. He's up there. He sends tickets. That doesn't matter where he is, but he's helping out this weekend. Of course, it's Maryland Million weekend.
Yeah, it is a big weekend for them, and it looks like they're going to get some nice weather, so it's good.
And they got big fields on
Yep.
Saturday. Get some really nice stakes races. So make sure you take a look at the Maryland Million Field, even today and tomorrow. But tomorrow is really good. And as I say, Brian's up there, and he'll be back with us, I don't know, probably next week, Wednesday,
Yep.
but Friday when we come back. So with that said, let's go. The fourth race is going to be 5 furlongs on the Tapeta. It always was going to be on the Tapeta. Claimers, 3 or 4-year-olds and upward, which have never won 3 in life. We do have a scratch of the number 3, Awesome Wind. I will show you my Rainbow 6 ticket now. And guess what? It's $43.20. And we'll talk about the fourth race. In race number 5, just 2 for me. My top pick is that Mr. Narcissistic, but I had to use no deliberation. We'll show you a video of those horses. Yep. In race number 6, my top pick. Now, that one moved to 1 mile and 70 yards on the Tapeta. And my top pick in there is the one, I think you singled that one, yep. I know, in your Tropical Tapeta pick 3. In race number 7, I went too deep with the number 4, Splurge on top, but I also used the number 6, Smart Jenny. Race number 8, my top pick is the 6, Beastly Speed. We will show a video of Beastly Speed in that particular race. And then 3, 8, 9 for me in the last race. Tis the Bomb. Hope make this one can wake up. That one also scheduled for the turf to be run at 1 mile and 70 yards on the all-weather Tapeta. Getting back to race number 4 in here, did you put Calypso Charlie on top? Or?
No, I didn't. I went to Dropkick Murphy because I just feel like there's so much speed in this race, Ron, that this horse on the class drop should be able to pick up the pieces late.
Yeah, I sort of went that way with Luna Warrior. I just thought maybe this horse can run well in this particular spot. And Luna Warrior, if you look at its last race, showed that speed in there, and that's one of the horses you were talking about. Yep. But how about this Avian Negrete? He's winning like at 27%, yeah. Or he's in the money 27% of the time here, which is real good. But let's show that video with Calypso Charlie at Super Sunshine.
Yeah, this was a really big effort by Super Sunshine because Super Sunshine did all of the hard work on the front end and just paid the price for it late. And you see Calypso Charlie here just trying to make up some ground, and actually he did quite well. This was very impressive by Calypso Charlie too, because he was a much bigger price that day and ran on nicely, tried at least. But I think the main thing to see here is Super Sunshine just really, that was such a narrow defeat. He was good that day. Now I just worry that he's going to be compromised by the other speed that's here.
And, you go right with Dropkick Murphy, like you said, because if you look at its last race, they were able to take this horse off the pace and just came running late. And that's what somebody might have to do in this race with all the speed we just not only talked about, that we showed you in race number 4. So a little bit of a wide open affair there. Race number 5 this afternoon is 5 furlongs on the Tapeta. It's a starter, optional claimer. And this is for 3-year-olds and upward, which have started for a claiming price of $12.5 or left. We did have a scratch in here of the number 5 horse in here, and that is Rishi, and we have your late pick 5 ticket.
Yeah, it's a competitive sequence here today, and I like it quite a bit. It's a $16 play. I lost a few just due to scratches, and we'll get into this race in just a second, Ron. Race number 6, I do have the 1 on top. I know that was my single in my Tropical Tapeta pick 3, but I'm also going to use the 6 Bridal a Butterfly. Race number 7, the 4 on top for me, that is Splurge, and I'll show you why here in just a little bit. Race number 8, 1 mile on the dirt. This is my best bet today, the number 6 Beastly Speed. And in the finale, you alluded to it earlier, Ron, what a complicated race to end the card. I do scratch into the 7 though. That is Indy Lion for Rohan Crichton, $16.
Yeah, I'm laughing here because I have 3-8, 9-1. You have 2-7. Just that's that type of
race. It is, yeah.
Now, getting back to this race here, what an interesting race it is with a couple of horses in here, Mr. Narcissistic, Christensen, and No Deliberation. Just these horses run very well all the time, and I know you want to show that replay.
Yeah, this is just kind of a matchup because these are the top 3 horses in this race, I think. Now, what I wanted to point out from this race, or what caught my eye at least, Ron, is we see Christensen here. He's going to have to dive into the inner rail here, and man, he ran so hard. That's not a spot you want to be, just diving into the rail like that. Unfortunately, he was just beat by No Deliberation fair on the square, but wow, I thought this was a huge effort.
Yeah, I remember that race
Yeah.
when he went down, and that was a good performance in there. You know, I did go with the number 4, Mr. Narcissistic, and it's just all in front of you. Horse runs exceptionally well all the time. Second off the bench for
Yep.
Saffie Joseph Jr. Before going to the bench, you could see this horse had won 2 in a row after the claim with Saffie, comes back,
Yep.
gets the tightener. Edgar Zayas in the saddle. And like I always say, what do you got to get hit in the head with a rock? This one looks like a tough one.
It does, yeah. I could not agree more with you here. And a horse that has been a win machine on the Tapeta here as well.
And no deliberation for Peter World. It comes off that nice win over who? Mr. Narcissistic. So maybe it goes for 2 in a row.
Well, you look at his pattern. Like, he wins a race, he doesn't run very well. He wins, he doesn't run well. He wins, he doesn't run well. He wins.
Doesn't run well.
Spoiler alert.
Let's look at the stat I found for Peter Walder. Is it good? Is it bad? Winner last out to Peter Sprints the past 3 years. 4 for 12, 33%, very limited sampling, but $3.68 return of investment. And, you know, I always put 3 years because that's basically when we got going with the Tapeta there. So good numbers, but very limited numbers. So we'll see how that runs. But a really interesting race to kick off the late pick 5. Flipping the page, this one was originally 1 mile on the turf. Now to be run at 1 mile and 70 yards on the all-weather Tapeta. It's an allowance optional claimer. And this is the feature race of the afternoon. It's for 2-year-olds. Now, we did have a scratch just before we came on the air of the horse that was looked like the one to beat. That's Forged Steel. Also scratched the 7, Lady Cha-Cha. Boy, it looks like it's I Know's race to lead. Now we have a late pick 4 ticket here.
Yeah, we do, and it is. We can just throw it up for a little bit here. It's just a run back, Ron, of my late pick 5, and you know, add some of those horses that you have. I know you have the 3 in race number 9. That's a race where you've got some room. You can play a little bit more, especially because I have that leverage of Beastly Speed in race 8.
Yeah, if you have an opinion there, you add another horse at $16,
Exactly.
so it's very affordable. And you're absolutely right with the number 6 in here. I know. All you have to do is look 2 starts back. Now, breaks its maiden last time on the turf, but 2 starts back gets beat a whisker going a mile 70 yards on the Tapeta. You know, so this horse coming into the race in excellent form and very versatile.
Yeah, most definitely. And this is the only horse in the race besides the number 3, Emmett, that has that 2-turn Tapeta experience.
Yeah, and you know, you also used, and I did too, and that's Bridal, a butterfly from Bethany Baumgarten. Now, this one is a little bit of a guess.
Yeah.
Wins its debut going 5 on the grass here very impressively. They put it in the junior sprint at Kentucky Downs. Still don't know where the finish line is there, and finished 5th in that race.
Yeah.
So this horse has got a little bit of touch of class, and they left it in today to go around 2 turns on the Tapeta.
I like this move because a horse like Country House, the unofficial, well, now the official winner of the Kentucky Derby, but did not cross the wire first at the Kentucky Derby. That was an eventful day. But this horse at Kentucky Downs, and I agree with you, when I was watching the replay, I don't know, we say that all the time, we joke about it, where in the world is the finish line at Kentucky Downs. Poor Larry Colmus has got it figured out, but that's why we're not race callers. But this horse ran really well, and that was a day that the speed, I felt like all Kentucky Downs, the speed was really good, that track, and this horse came from off of it. I can't wait to see the 2 turns.
Yeah, Larry does a good job.
He
And
does.
we always make a little bit of fun, of course. You know, we root until the bitter end when they cross the wire, wherever that might be.
Wherever it is.
Yeah. Rocket Storm, the number 4 horse, and I'll just touch on, you know, what did it do last time out? Led every step of the way.
Yep.
Started to get tired at the end, but that was going a mile 70 on the Tapeta. So you would think that this horse, too, maybe can, at least be on the pace and hold on some.
Yeah, exactly. And that could maybe be a problem for anybody else who is coming out of those sprints and's got some speed as well.
Yeah, so this makes I Know look a little bit better in there because that one will set the trap. Race number 7 this afternoon is 5.5 furlongs on the Tapeta. These are claimers. These are fillies 3-year-olds and fillies and mares 4 and up who never won 3 in life. Scratch the number 9 both sides. That was my long shot today, so no long shot for me. And interesting, we both went with, I scratched into the number 4 Splurge, and we're going to show a video of what Splurge did last time.
Yeah, Splurge did a big effort last time, Ron. Now, into touring today, I'm totally fine with just fading this horse. But thank you, guys. We'll see Splurge here. Could not get by Chaina, but Splurge ran really, really hard, and these are 2 races in a row where Splurge has just really ran her eyeballs out and hasn't been able to get the win, but she's got talent now with this field. You look at Into Touring, the gap between Splurge and Into Touring is a big one, and I just feel like today Splurge is the one to beat.
Yeah, I tossed Into Touring. Well, put a little further. No, I actually tossed it off the ticket there. So I did put into second, number 6, and that is Smart Jenny. It's Smart Jenny. It comes out of a race last time out, 2 lifetime. It's a big jump up to go to the next level. People say, well, look, it was for 8,000. It's for 8,000 today. It's tough to make that jump up, but this horse responded to the drop in competition last time out. Maybe they found home base for this horse.
Yeah, they really could have. And when you win by 3 lengths on the Tapeta sprinting, you have to pay attention to that.
Yeah, and one other horse. Well, let's talk about your 2 horses in here. Drinks on Me, and as I mentioned, that never happens with Brian ever, so we'll see how he's doing.
I heard it happens with you, though,
always.
always.
But that's a story for another day. Hey, Bruno Tessori does a pretty good job.
Yeah, hasn't been able to get to the winner's circle here as of yet, but this is a nice drop. I mean, going from the 10,000 to the 8,000, hey, maybe this mare, wakes up some.
Let's go to race number 8 this afternoon. 1 mile allowance optional claimer. These are, these are state-bred 3-year-olds and upward. You have no scratches in this race, and your best bet is in here, Beastly Speed. And as you said a little while ago, you want to show why.
Yeah, I do. This was a day that the track was rated good, and we'll see how it is come later in the afternoon here. Beastly Speed did all of the dirty work on the front end here, and this is how he typically runs, which on a normal day is fine, but this was a day that the main dirt track was playing to these outside paths and closers. And if you look here, the jockey actually loses his whip, so he's now just having to hand ride. Now, I'm not saying that made the difference between winning or losing, but that's not a situation you want to be in, especially when you know how the track was playing that day. Now we're drawn to the outside. Edgar Zayas gets aboard. This horse looks down the road.
Yeah, I didn't see too much. Like you said, the track was favoring those outside closes that day. All I remember is 2 starts back where the horse just ran away. Been won by 10 lengths in that particular race. So certainly the one to beat. Morgan Point was also, a horse that I had some interest in. Was in that last race we just showed. And, this was the one that closed along with them one and had the outside buys to close. It was actually finished second, was only beaten ahead in that race.
Yeah, it was still a good effort, and depending on how the track plays today, and like I said, we've got Pete Aiello upstairs and he'll give you the track conditions, but at 4:34 in the PM this track dries out so fast. Kenny and the crew do a great job with it. Maybe this is a day where it could play a similar situation as last time with those outside paths, and Morgan Point would be a horse that you would need. I would be out.
Carlos David, that horse has horse all along the East Coast during the summer. He had this one at Monmouth in Delaware, back here at Gulfstream Park. 4-time winner at Gulfstream from 10 starts. So the old horse for course angle.
Yeah, exactly. And again, it's Carlos David, so watch out for that.
Yeah, English Bob, and one is third choice, and exactly where I got it third, you got it second. Certainly figures in there. Now the last race, this is the one where you have to it's a tough one. It was originally scheduled for 1 mile on the turf. Now to be run at 1 mile and 70 yards on the Tapeta. It's for 3-year-olds or 4-year-olds and upward with 3 races. We had a lot of races like that this afternoon. We did have a scratch in here of AP Secret, which was the morning line favorite in there. I had it second. I honestly say I had the number 3, Tis the Mom, I thought would run well on the turf. We'll see how this horse runs. So let's start with your number 7, Indy Lion in here.
This horse has speed, Ron. Coming from Colonial on Sunday, actually one of the horses that kind of blew up the rainbow was a Rohan Crichton horse coming off of a race, a win actually at Colonial. So I think that maybe this Colonial form is going to hold up some, and we'll just keep note of it as these horses are kind of filtering back here to South Florida. But he's got speed, and he's going to cut back in distance. That's a huge move here for the connections.
Yeah, Rohan Crichton, the trainer in there. Number 3, if you go through Tis the Bomb, I'm talking about Jose D'Angelo. If you go through this horse's past performances, this horse has run okay on the Tapeta. And don't forget, the last time this horse was on the Tapeta here in June, that was for 62,500 optional claimers. I think the drop is going to help this horse. And, of course, Paco Lopez in the saddle certainly is a thing. So I use this horse. And like I said, sort of tilted it more to the turf, but I'm not I think this horse can also run well on the Tapeta.
Yeah.
And the other horse in here, the number 9, Cashier Check, Victor Barboza Jr., nice 10-1 on the morning line.
Yeah, this horse picked up some ground late last time out, and that was off of a little bit of a freshening up. Victor Barboza has been a little quiet the last week, but I think this is a barn that, again, on the class drop like this, it's one to watch.
Yeah, and the other horses you might want to look at in there. What about the number 2 horse that you had in there?
This is one that I added in, and if you look at his last few races, I think that the Tapeta, well, I actually prefer him on the Tapeta versus the turf course because he's 0 for 4 on the turf, but he does have a win on the Tapeta and some underneath finishes as well. And like you said, we've got the super high 5 in the last race. Maybe this is one you put in.
Yeah, maybe 2. He won the Ocala Dream in there, just on the drop. This one was on the, the dirt last time out, but it was against 35 condition claimers. I think this is a level where this horse might be able to grab a share. So it's just a wide open race, which makes that super high 5 fun. And of course, all the late tickets, everything ends in race number 9. That's how they set it up. Pick 5, pick 4.
Exactly.
Well, you knew that already, right?
Yeah, I think so. I hope.
That's how we see the 9-race card on Friday afternoon. And since the rain this morning, we've had no more.
No, yeah,
So
it's been beautiful.
It's going to be interesting what Pete says in a couple of moments with the track condition and everything. But we got our lightning round I want to talk about. And as we do each and every Friday, we check out the standings. Interesting to see the jockeys.
Yeah, it is. And I think with the trainers, it's still the same old song and dance. But here's the jockeys. Miguel Vasquez, that's impressive for him. He's been riding very well.
Yeah, Edgard hasn't caught him yet. He's trying. So just a couple. Look at MSCL. He's, boy, if you want to put some money down, MSCL is doing great. Edwin Gonzalez, Sonny Leon, and I think there's a bunch with 10 right after that. So always very competitive. We'll see how that plays out. Well, we knew about the trainers.
Yeah, we did. Safi Joseph just on a tour de force as always here. But Rohan and Carlos and Jose D'Angelo, even Dave Fox, the podium is always so competitive here, Ron.
Yeah, David Fox, not as many starters as the guys in front of him, and he's doing a good job. So you always got to check the percentages out as far as how many horses they have started.
Yeah.
So interesting. And as I mentioned just in that last race with the number 3, Paco Lopez riding. So Mr. 4,000.
Yeah, 4,000 career wins for jockey Paco Lopez. He did it here in the Indian Summer Stakes on the inside with George Weaver's Governor Sam. We were all yelling for this horse to hang on in the office, Ron.
Yeah, we want him to get the 4. We had a beautiful sign. He'll get it. You'll see it here. It's really done nice. But, Paco, that's an incredible feat, 4,000 in victory. So, I'm sure he's got his eyes on 5,000. He's still a young pup.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not 80 years old or anything like that. He's got a lot of good stuff left in him. So, and then we got our best bets in long shot. Your best bet?
My best bet is Beastly Speed.
Yeah. I'm starting it off in race number 1 with that number 2 horse in there, Ripton's Music, 6-1 on the morning line, sitting up there at 9-2. Your long shot?
It's in the first race as well with the number 8, Words of Fortune.
Mine was scratched out this afternoon, so we'll just leave it at that. And going to be a good day here. As I said, the rain has stopped. The sun is out right now. So we're interested to see what's going to play out. And Pete's going to give you all the scratches, changes. And Samantha and I will be here throughout the afternoon trying to give you some useful updates.